In less than 3 days, 3 separate terror attacks were reported from Jammu's Reasi, Kathua and Doda region. These incidents have underscored the persistent security challenges and the urgent need for comprehensive counter-terrorism strategies. To delve into this critical discussion, today we are joined by Colonel Dr. DPK Pillay, a distinguished former Indian Army officer. Colonel Pillay has served in both the Ministry of Defence Secretariat and the National Security Council Secretariat, and has extensive experience as a military advisor with the ICRC in the Middle East. Currently, he is a research fellow at NWSA. Welcome, Colonel Pillay.
Hello.
In 3 days, we have seen 3 terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, which highlight a persistent security challenge. In your view, what are the main factors contributing to this recent surge in past few months, particularly in the border areas, Jammu region?
Pakistan is battling a crisis on its own territories. There's a lot of problems there, internal, and they needed, you've seen the pattern right from the very beginning. They needed to create a narrative of a unstable India, or the India that is threatening to, and that's the reason why they need to create this kind of a problem on this part of the other side. After a period of relative calm, you've seen how different the two Kashmir, the trajectories have worked out. You're seeing what the protests are in POK and in Gilgit-Baltistan, and then to see the relative calm and prosperity that is here, they needed to disrupt that, and that's one of the reasons why it's been engineered. And post Article 370's abrogation, there has been a steady improvement, and there's been a law and order situation is under control. Elections have been held peacefully. Members of parliament have been elected, and so they needed to show this. That's the reason why they engineered this attack. It's also could be to prevent, the Amarnath Yatra is going to come up, so to get an attention of the world onto Kashmir once again, because they thrived on that for all these years, creating a problem of the fake narrative of Kashmir. If you look at it, Kashmir was never part of Pakistan. They tried to grab it in 1947, whereas the territory they had in Bangladesh, if they have to be really raising an issue, it should be about Bangladesh, which was a part of Pakistan, which is broken away from them, and that was willingly a part of Pakistan. Here, Kashmir never acceded to them. The people of Kashmir also, and the kind of investment that they put in being a very porous border, this is something that they are very good at, and this is something that is engineered clearly by them. And I'm sure the government and the security forces will take control of it.
Pakistan's former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has been calling for dialogue with India. How do you see this apparent contradiction playing out?
The India-Pakistan relations has been at an all-time low, and Shehbaz Sharif has definitely not lived up to the potential that he could have actually, so it looks very hypocritical. In the sense, even if it is a call for, they are not the ones who are calling the shots. You remember while Nawaz Sharif and Bajpayee were meeting, and there was this Kargil war that happened. So it's firstly it's hypocritical, and secondly, I really don't know whether he's capable of actually initiating something without the knowledge of the army, and I don't think it can be really taken seriously.
The Taliban takeover of Afghanistan in 2021 raised concerns about a potential safe haven for terror groups. How do you see this development impacting the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly regarding the role of Pakistan-based terror groups?
We've always had this problem with a regime that is hostile in these countries. If you recall, when the Soviet Union had withdrawn from Afghanistan, it's when actually the problem in Kashmir, the conflagration took place. So it's always important for us to understand that the difficulties that we face when we have hostile groups in power in Afghanistan, they may provide safe haven. They may also look to actually, there might be a kind of a spillover effect. There could also be a support for anti-India groups that are there positioned in this thing. So we are walking very cautious. We can see the pattern. We're actually maintaining good relations in terms of providing them support in whatever way we can, and I'm sure we should be very cautious, and this is something that the security establishment is aware of.
Moving forward, what strategies can India employ to address the root causes of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, alongside counter-terrorism efforts?
So India is facing a very, very tough walk. You have a cross-border sponsored terrorist activity going on. It was artificially induced. Of course, there were some mistakes on our part, and which has been remedial measures have been taken in the sense that you can actually see the way. I think the key lies if you compare two countries that are born on 15th of August, 14th of August, 1947. We had issues, similar issues we had problems of East Pakistan, and how did they suppress them? By Operation Searchlight, killing millions of them, displacing them. Whereas in India, I believe that our strength lies in our democracy. We believe in mainstreaming our opposition. And that's the reason why you find former militant or insurgent leaders who have actually held positions of, in the democracy. Our strength lies in our country. So I think the key is about strengthening the democratic process, giving them a voice, ensuring that everyone, their basic needs and requirements are met, strengthening the economic opportunities that are there, because everyone aspires for a better life, for not only for their own generation, but the future generation. And that is something India has been providing, and also been providing a kind of recognition of the fact that human rights have no boundaries, have no limitations in terms of your color, religion or creed. And I think that is the strength of this country that it provides. And I think these are the key areas that we are focusing on: providing economic opportunities, providing a political voice, providing a very clear, stable educational and other avenues that allows them to progress, and that human security angle that India has been looking at, where we are delivering justice and development, and all this thing that a good human life needs to have is being delivered here, and that is very clearly visible on across the border. Contrast is visible, just like North Korea and South Korea, the contrast is visible. The same contrast is visible between POK and in India, where you find a country prospering, and you find education, girls getting educated, becoming doctors. These are fundamental. So that is something that is required to be kept alive and maintained.
Do you believe there are any viable paths for genuine dialogue and cooperation between India and Pakistan on the Kashmir issue, considering the current situation?
If you look at the history of our country, we've always been trying to walk this tightrope between Pakistan's continued flagration and violations against our genuine concerns, and how we've been very accommodative of them, giving them a lot of, in fact, after 1971 war, when we took about 90,000 prisoners, and we ensured that those prisoners were in our custody, we didn't allow the vengeance to take the streets like we could have handed over them to the East Pakistanis, but we've shown a lot of concession. The Simla agreement is actually we try to pick a lesson from Versailles Treaty, where bad conditions in terms of treaty led to the Second World War. Here we were very generous, and we were very kind to repatriate all the 90,000 prisoners that surrendered, and we given them the most favored nation status. We've provided them all assistance, and everything, but they've actually not walked the talk. So for them, the Pakistani army controls the country, and for them to have an enemy in a country like India is something that justifies their existence. The army's existence is justified in this country. So we really not, we have not been found wanting in terms of providing them. They've actually backstabbed every time that you actually been nice to them. So, even unleashing after the 1971 war, Zia-ul Haq created this by bleeding us by 1,000 cuts. So that is a policy that they need to retract from. They need to understand that shared prosperity or a shared future is best attained when you share the values that you have. When you share your, a vision for a future which is not based on violence, it's not based on enmity, it's based on collaboration, it's based on cooperation, is based on, because definitely India and Pakistan are not on the same page in many ways. We don't share the same opinion. We don't share the way the people are treated, we don't share the same constitutional values. In their own country, minorities are harassed, and there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of financial mismanagement, and there are issues. So I think Pakistan needs to walk the talk in terms of making sure that they are committed to understanding India's security concerns, working together, because then you actually have as a subcontinent, you rise together as one. It's something that we share a common history, we share a lot of common values, our habits, our food, our taste for music, our taste for culture, dresses, everything is there. So why can't we share the same future, an idea of a future? I think that is where Pakistan can really, help us.
Thank you so much, Colonel Pillay.